believe we are finally at our last session of the day. The day has gone so fast because when you're having fun, things just go by so fast. Y'all, today we are here with the A16Z team, and we're going to be learning more about building community at work. Right now, we have two team members with us, Mohammed Lansari, and basically, Mohammed is a software engineer with 4.5 years of industry experience. He graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with a BS in computer science and went straight into industry, working on Amazon's internal fintech products. There, he worked on tooling to scale Amazon's ability to match the tens of millions of transactions it processes daily. He joined Headway in March of 2023 and is one of the founding members of the clinical platform team. Justin is also here with us, Justin Bethune. Justin is a partner on the Talent Network team focused on college talent. Before joining, Horowitz, he spent several years building and managing professional programs and leading MBA and PhD recruiting at ServiceNow. Before that, he spent 6 years at Dropbox as a full cycle recruiter on the university recruiting team, where he launched Dropbox's first MBA hiring program. He previously held roles as a diversity program manager for employee resource groups. Justin is an Oakland native who graduated with an international relations degree from St. Mary's College of California. He's an avid pilot. Okay, and spends most of his free time flying and practicing for aerobatic competitions. Okay, work. With that being said, let's give it up to the A16Z team, please.
Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Can you all hear me? Thumbs up. Perfect. Awesome. My name is Justin Bethune. I'm really happy to be here today. This is a long time coming to be able to work with Color Stack and have this first Fam Friday. Let me tell you a little bit about the A16Z College Talent Program and our connection with Headway. The A16Z College Talent Program is an amazing way for us to connect with great students who are studying technical degrees, computer science, computer design, product design, and connect those students to opportunities at our portfolio companies. We feel like our program at the firm is the gateway to startups. So hopefully a lot of you out there are interested in maybe one day working for startups and being in that capacity. A little bit about the venture capital space, if those that aren't familiar, we invest in a variety of different technology startups at various different stages, at various different industries. And this program has been at the firm for well over a decade at this point. So we've seen students come from the university level and rise up into different organizations within our portfolio. We've had people turn around and become startup founders and start their own opportunities and companies coming out of the program. So it's an amazing way to, for one, to stay connected with us and to continue in your journey. We believe in long-term relationships. That's what business we're in. And so we want to make sure that we can support you and build you up as you are progressing throughout your career. I'm going to drop in the chat a way to check in. So if you want to be evaluated for our College Talent Network, you can RSVP for this event. We're going to go through everyone's profile in the next day or two and tell you a little bit more about what kind of comes with being part of that connection in our network. So for now, I want to kick it over to Mohammed so he can kind of talk to you a little bit more about his presentation. I'll be hanging on to answer some Q&As at the end if you have any questions about the A16Z College Talent Program, but we are very happy to be here and we hope to continue to forge a lasting relationship with you all.
Cool. Thank you, Justin. Let me go ahead and start sharing my presentation here real quick. Can people see this? Let's see. Cool. That looks good. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Justin. And definitely go check out A16Z's college programs. A lot of cool stuff that they have in their portfolio with many opportunities. So I'm going to dive right in because I've got a fairly interesting topic that I think matters to everyone, whether you're new in the workforce or even, someone like me who's 3 or 4 years into their time, and they maybe switch companies and they need to figure out, what am I going to do? We'll start with a little about myself. My name's Mohammed Lansari, as I was introduced as. I'm half American, like very southern, half Algerian. I grew up sort of, combination of the U.S., the Middle East, and then it ended up coming back to the U.S. for college, high school, and then, stuck around for work. I ended up getting my undergraduate degree in computer science at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And then I moved out to Seattle to work for Amazon as my first full-time job. I had actually done one internship at Amazon first. It was one of my two. And while I was out there, I had the opportunity to really sort of go deep and work in the fintech space, and, sort of deal with problems at the scale that Amazon works at. But we're not really here to talk about technical problems. We're here to talk a lot more about, cultural behavior and just being at work in general. And as of March last year, I did switch jobs. I ended up working now for this great startup called Headway. I think there's some really good background that's been written, but essentially we're a mental health startup working to basically democratize access democratize access to mental health care and make insurance easier for therapists to take. So let me go ahead and dive right into the topics here. Just sort of at a very high level, we want to talk about what is a workplace community. What makes up workplace community for any given individual. I personally think that one of the most important things about being able to feel like you're comfortable even building community in the workplace is having a mission that you care about. Whether that be from sort of a career growth perspective, I want to learn more about big data technologies, or I want to do something that I believe in. I use a lot of various mental health treatment stuff over the course of my life, and so I've found that working on something that sort of matches that has really driven me and helped me push me to the next level as a professional. And then in addition to sort of having that mission and then feeling bought in, you also want to be able to trust and respect those people that you work with, right? You want to be able to say, hey, on any given day, if you're having a rough day at work, or if you're having trouble, either professionally or personally, that you can turn to the person next to you, or turn to, the person who you lead, and feel like you can trust them and tell them, what your problems are, or, your concerns. Trust and respect sort of work together to build this like virtuous cycle that improves communication and helps everyone do better together. It's sort of the common saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. The better your community is as sort of a company, the better that everyone does together. I personally find diversity and being in a diverse group as well really helps with feeling included. You want to be around people whose identities you empathize with and who can understand and sympathize with your problems as well. And as a result, sort of that diverse group was something that I was really seeking when I actually switched companies, because there's a lot of things that Amazon does really well, and then there's a lot of things that Amazon did not so well personally for me. And I found a lot more of my personal identity groups here at Headway, and Headway really makes it easy to sort of find more of those identity groups. And finally, I personally find specific groups of people with a shared identity who you can empathize with and make you feel particularly seen in the workplace, all sort of adds together to make you want to stick around somewhere. There's some really interesting statistics and studies out there about the benefits of diversity and inclusion, and they include increasing average employee tenures. They include substantial increases in revenue for companies. So there's both personal and pragmatic reasons to want to build better workplace community. All right, let's move forward a little bit here. Sort of the structure of how I'm going to go through this is we're going to talk a little about the benefits of strong workplace community, which we've sort of gone over very, very high level. We'll talk in a little more detail. Some specific actions that you can take to find community in a new workplace. And then when that cycle has come through, how you in turn can help build community for other people in the future and for communities that you feel like are underrepresented for yourself, because that is part and parcel of the entire cycle. And then really why stronger communities just make everyone better. So the benefits of community, I think it's personally, it's a lot like community anywhere else in your life, right? Work is such a huge part of what you do day to day. It's 8 hours a day. It's 5 days a week, in some way, shape, or form, whether you're doing individual work, whether you're in meetings, whether you're socializing with coworkers. You should always want to be able to feel supported and have some community. You get that support, you get some friendship, and you can actually have fun in your workplace. I'm not, of the opinion that everything should be serious all the time. If you can't laugh with your colleagues, then what are you doing? If you're not having fun, well, you're not going to be working at your best. And then in addition to sort of the personal benefits, there really are pragmatic benefits as well. There's statistics around increases in employee engagement and employee productivity. There's reduced turnover. There's reduced absenteeism. People, as a result of building better products, your customers are more satisfied and they stick around. You have better, better spaces for creativity and innovation, because that only ever really happens in spaces where you sort of feel included and safe and secure. And then in general, you're just building a more positive and supportive workplace, which helps people, improve in their careers and move forward. There's often this unspoken gap sort of with regards to people of underrepresented communities in particular in the workplace, where they struggle with having the non-default network is what we call it. Because in a lot of sort of spaces, in particular in computer science, the default network is often, straight white males. And so having that, being able to build intentional spaces for non-default, for building up those networks for non-default, quote unquote, non-default identities, really allows for everyone's careers to improve together. And then, that's just an endless cycle. When you have a better network, in turn, everyone's careers continue to improve. You can find better mentorship, and in turn, you can also pay it forward, build up your own mentoring, help people who come behind you, improve the space for people who come next. So what can you do to find community in your workplace? You can find relatable employee groups. Most companies of any size will have a group that will have the either mechanisms for building groups, or will have existing groups that match motivations that you might have or identities that you might correspond to. One of the big ones at Headway in particular is ERGs. An ERG is an employee resource group, which is a group of employees who share, some common identity or interest, such as race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability. ERGs can also provide support and networking opportunities for their members, and they can help promote diversity and inclusion in the workplace. In particular, at Headway, for example, we have ERGs for queer employees and employees of color. And as we continue to grow, because we've grown really quickly this year, we're looking to continue to build new ERGs and add specificity. So, for example, you might see ERGs in the future for people with disabilities. You may see employees with, children, or employees who are veterans also build their own ERGs, because these are all concern groups that sort of build up spaces for individuals and help you find people who empathize with you. And then in addition to that, there's also the concept of learning communities, A learning community is sort of a group of employees who just come together on some cadence to learn about a new skill or topic. These can be facilitated by external trainers or internal subject matter experts, or they can be entirely self-directed as well. Many companies will have things like lunch and learns, or, we, for example, have a lunch book club. And these often can be directly adjacent to work, or they can be alongside it. And they can often intersect with ERGs. For example, some ERGs might have their own book clubs, or focus on topics that are at least relevant to those subgroups. And this is a way to sort of take action and build new knowledge and expand awareness for whether it be professional topics or personal topics. And then in addition, you can look for one-on-one mentorship opportunities. Many companies will have mentorship programs set up, where junior employees can get matched with a mentor. in order to sort of continue both professional and personal growth. There's a lot of unspoken sort of norms and standards in the workplace, and often having someone who's there to sort of help explain those nuances will make your experience when first entering the workforce much better. Good ways to find mentors are looking for people senior to you, potentially, but not necessarily, from intersectionally similar identity groups, and then they can help you move forward with your career, and also can be, hopefully good support to lean on personally as well. And then in addition to stuff that's related to factual identities, you can also, or core identities, you can also look for things that are considered more niche or stuff that's a little more transient, such as hobby communities. Join social lunches around different hobbies that you have. For example, I'm in the biking channel at a Headway, as I'm someone who I would consider to be an avid biker. And I find that sort of being able to talk to people about hobbies like that also helps build bonds with coworkers you might not otherwise have strong interactions with. And then just, generally being able to actively engage people about their interests. When you're comfortable enough to talk to coworkers about things that aren't necessarily directly adjacent to work, you can build a better working relationship as well. So that's a few sort of ways in which you can find and build community in the workplace. As far as building new sources of community, which is, when you take it and turn it around, you found your community and you'd like to build some more for people to come, who are coming after you. There's a few different options as well. One of my favorites personally is arranging community events. These are things that are, that can be anything from starting a mentorship program if you, for example, either don't have one or don't find one that's satisfactory to you. So that can be, for example, if you find a general software mentorship program, but you want to specifically build one that's about front end, or if you want specifically a mentorship program for queer women software engineers, anything along those lines, you can find that building those specific programs will often help strengthen both professional and personal improvement further. Additionally, often companies will be very willing to sponsor volunteer opportunities or arrange days for volunteer opportunities, whether it be at the team level, at the org level, at an employer, at an ERG level, etc. And so finding opportunities near you or remotely or however your company operates that sort of matches those needs really is important. And can help build community a lot as well. And then even just scheduling recurring social events. Maybe you like to have a specific monthly social lunch. Often many other people will be interested in the same sort of niches that you want to talk about. And so if you build it up, advertise it a little bit, people will come and you can have further community. It's also important to keep your leadership accountable for what efforts they're putting into improving the ability for employees to build community. Specifically for underrepresented groups, whether and I think that personally, having that ability to speak out enough in the first place to say, hey, and talking to say like the VP of engineering, hey, I really think that we should spend more time building out resources for people who are underrepresented to gain mentorship programs in spaces where they may not otherwise have it. Or people who come from non-traditional backgrounds into the field is such a positive mechanism for continued growth, professional growth as well. And then sort of as just a final overarching concept, I really think everyone should want community in the workplace. And here's why. There's some people who have these arguments about building community with organizations like ERGs can create segmentation in the workplace. That gives employees where it's like you're letting people self-divide. But I think there's this whole value in having both open and closed areas for people to be to either be allies and explicitly gives a space for being an ally or being someone of an underrepresented group, as well as having open spaces where people can talk about more casual things such as social lunches. I personally think there's inherent value in building comfort for employees of certain identity groups, and that way they can continue to sort of have that that comfort in the workplace as a whole. When you're someone who's alone, who feels alone at work, you're not someone who's going to want to stay there, or you're not someone who's going to want to buy in all the way. You want to make sure people feel like they're part of a larger community. I also think encouraging community in the workplace, as I've said, makes a workplace more welcoming for everyone. A workplace where people feel like they belong is a workplace where everyone should want to be, regardless of how you came to be at that workplace, what your role is, regardless of seniority, regardless of if you're a new graduate, if you've been there for 10 years. Building up these existing sources of communities often gives people a great way to enter in the first place. I joined Headway and I didn't know anyone. I didn't come as a referral. I didn't come, sort of from people who had recommended me. I didn't. A lot of other people will join startups and they'll know other people, and that's how they show up. But because of this ability to sort of build a very inclusive culture through ERGs and through various explicit efforts, I found that I was very quickly able to feel like I was part of the larger mission and also start volunteering for events, which is how I ended up here presenting for everyone else at ColorStack. And in general, I think you'll grow and learn long-term from having worked at a workplace where you feel like you're part of a community at the end of the day. That's my main spiel. I really say thank you for taking the time to listen. I really hope that everyone has found some value, and wherever you end up professionally or personally, I really encourage you all to seek community out wherever you do end up. It is one of the most gratifying and formative parts of being in the workforce. You may or may not remember any given individual day of work, but you will remember the people who you found to be formative, whether as mentors or as social friends through your workforce, or through any given job that you're at. Yeah, so that's everything for me. Thank you very much. I'll hand it back over to, I want to say Justin here. I could be wrong though.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, Mohammed. That was fantastic. Awesome work. I appreciate you for sharing all that great information and about your story and your background and your whole evolution at Headway. So it looks like we have some questions.
Oh.
Let's see. Maybe you can shed a little bit of light, I don't know, Mohammed, on what maybe like the interview process is at Headway and what your experience might have been, and typically what they might be looking for in various candidates that are applying.
Let me swap my hats really quickly from my sort of internal organizer hat to my engineering and university hiring hat. And we can definitely talk a little about sort of what we're looking at there. I totally missed the Q&A messages there. Thank you for bringing that up. On the sort of recruiting side for Headway, we kind of, from a college and new grad perspective, it's actually only our second year looking to hire that way, and so that's really exciting. And so we've iterated a lot on the process that we're building out, and you'll find that we kind of have a very similar structure to a lot of other companies right now that we've settled on. You'll have a screening call with a recruiter, and then you'll have an initial tech screen. That initial tech screen will be 30 minutes and is just, I believe, 30 to 45 minutes. We're currently finalizing that, and it's essentially intended to evaluate your generalized sort of skill set. And then you'll have the quote unquote on-site, which it will be a sort of high-level design question, a lower-level implementation question, and then what we call the who interview, which is sort of looking for soft skill strengths. And the structures are very similar for both new grads and for people who are looking to intern. And we just have slightly different levels of competency expected between the two interview sets.
Awesome. Here's another great one for you. What is your work-life balance like, and are you able to work remotely?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Headway is actually a fully remote company, which I was really, really gratified by when I joined. But I also really do take pleasure in having the opportunity to be in office around other people. And one of the things that I found most valuable is Headway expects quarterly on-sites, but these are very self-driven by each individual team. So for example, my team is actually about 50% based on the West Coast and 50% based on the East Coast. So for the previous on-site that we did as a team, we went up to New York, which is where Headway does have a small office. But then for this on-site, actually just this past week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we brought everyone out here to Seattle and spent a few days at different WeWorks, met up, and sort of had the opportunity to meet in person. In general, as far as work-life balance goes, I think that's one of those things that we prioritize really, really highly and do a really good job of maintaining, where we understand that, we take very good care of what is considered an emergency and what is not considered an emergency. So I would say overall, my work-life balance here has been phenomenal. I have great opportunity to take vacation, but then at the same time, I really feel like when I do get down to work, I really can sit down and focus because I have that balance where I don't feel like I've burnt out at any point.
Great. No, totally. What about, I think we have a little bit more time for a few more questions. Was there anything that caused you to make the initial jump, away from Amazon and maybe toward Headway? Was there anything that really stood out in your process that made you really excited about wanting to go to Headway?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it a little bit, but I'll definitely expand. One of the things that mattered the most to me was I really, really wanted a mission that I cared about. So I ended up interviewing primarily in the startup space. I was looking for places that were doing work, with mental health initiatives, some that were doing work with just sort of improving the healthcare system, some with democratizing access to better financial planning. And I ended up finding that Headway both seemed like the most sort of feasible mission. And then also I really found that everyone I spoke to at Headway, and this has continued since I've worked there, was just awesome, super mission driven, but also just really cool people.
That's awesome. That's great. There's one question I could take a little bit, actually. Someone asked me, what's my favorite part about working at a16z? And I think I would say the best part about working at a16z, honestly, and it's a little cliche, but it's really working and connecting with students. I have the privilege of going on campus and hearing from not only how students feel about their own personal college journey, like what's happening in their lives, how they're trying to face making big decisions coming out of school, how to evaluate decisions can be heavy. And being in the position that I'm in allows me to connect and counsel many students on that process. At the same time, I work with a lot of different portfolio companies. Obviously, we've done a lot of work even with Headway. And so being able to work closely with people like yourself and being able to share a lot about what your company is doing and why it's a great company to join, and kind of bridging that gap for people so they can see like, look, this is an awesome opportunity for to come learn and just get a different experience from, I think, what a lot of people think about when they're coming out of school looking to work for a company. Startups provide like a very, very special, unique experience. And so I'm excited to be here because hearing your story, connecting with students is literally the best part. And then the cherry on top is to obviously connect with so many different companies. So, all right, how we're doing on time? Do we have time for one more or? Let's see.
Yes, looks like we do.
Okay. Let's see. I feel like we've touched on a lot of these, but
let's see.
Do you have one that's jumping out to you?
Yeah, I think our community events sponsored by your company, are they funded by people in the ERG? I think is a fair question because I think that covers some interesting sort of details about what companies prioritize. I personally find that in general, companies do try to fund their larger ERGs, especially ones that are officially recognized. And I think it's no different here at Headway. Headway has this principle actually, go deeper, basically, where we're basically talking about making sure that we pick a few things and really go deep. And that sort of has been matched by having, just a couple ERGs, but making sure that they're very well supported. And so any events that they throw are sponsored by the company. And, I think that's also only fair given these tend to be underrepresented groups anyway. And as a result, you're trying to make sure that you're building a platform to sort of create that equity. And so I think it's important to recognize that any more effective ERG should both be recognized by the company that it's within, and also, should have some funding or some support from that same company.
Totally. Well, this has been great. This has been awesome. All of your questions have been wonderful. This has been an awesome experience. I did drop a link once again regarding our A16Z College Talent Program. So please take a look and check in for us if you want to learn a little bit more about that and be considered. But this has been a fantastic opportunity, and I thank you all for being so engaged on a Friday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, y'all, give them their claps, give them all the love in the chat as well as in the emojis. I hope you're seeing all of that and taking that in. Thank you so much for sharing your time and experiences and just your full transparency today. Y'all, I'm going to say it. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Y'all, that is the end of our Fam Friday. But before we go, I'm obviously going to ask you the giveaway question. Okay, are we ready? Yeah? Okay, awesome. What are sets of coworkers that actively come together to share a common identity or interests such as race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability called? Okay, it's looking like I don't have everyone on the edge of their seats. Jamar, shout out Jamar. You got it right. ERGs, employee resource groups. Awesome. Thank you for paying attention, everyone. Shout out to all of you. Y'all, we did it. We are at the end of our September Fam Friday. Can you believe? We absolutely had a great time. I hope you all had a great time. I want to hear some gems. What was your favorite session? I want to hear how y'all had your day. What was your Friday? What was the best parts of your Fridays? What gems did you hear? What was your favorite session? What do you want to learn more? Did you go to the networking roundtable? Are you coming to the next one? Fun, different AI sites. It was fun. I can't even lie. The networking sessions with other Color Stack members. Really surprised by Netflix. Time management. Can't wait for the next one. AI sites. AI. Okay. As we said before, please use the networking link, that spreadsheet, to share your LinkedIns, and do not put them in the chat so we can continue our wonderful conversation. Okay, Isabella was a gem. The AI and Squarespace sessions and networking was fun. Okay, we love the AI and Netflix. Okay, love that. Great meeting. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think it was a great meeting. Awesome. AI and networking. Okay. Love that as well. All right, well, thank you so much for coming through, for really, like, y'all did this. Y'all put in the effort, you put in the time, you literally are sitting here by your computer, taking notes, connecting with people, learning all the tips and tricks that the industry has and putting into your own toolbox. That is amazing. Y'all did that. So I'm going to snap for you. Oh, I have a special microphone, so I'm going to snap in here. Are you tingling? It's one of those ASMR ones. Snaps for you, claps for you. Not too loud. But yes, do you love it? Yes, continue building community wherever you are. See, you can do it virtually across the internet as well. Make sure you connect with folks on LinkedIn, Oh my God, stop with the ASMR, because I'm going to ASMR some AI. Y'all take care of the AI for us, please. And make sure to you see all the information on here. Make sure you're following Color Stack at colorstack.org, okay, on Instagram. On LinkedIn, make sure to follow at Color Stack as well. Me, if you love me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of it. Loves Michelle Adana, exactly how it's spelled right there. One word, one name, just period. And make sure to tap in also. If you were like, oh my God, Michelle Donna looks so cozy today, it's probably because of my Color Stack merch. So if you're also interested in this, check out colorstackmerch.org. And I know they always have like fun discounts during Fam Fridays. So definitely check that out. And thank you all so much for coming in. Also know that there's a feedback form that will probably be sent to your emails. So definitely give us some feedback as well, because we always want to know what you want to see next, right? And thank you so much for spending your Friday with us. I absolutely loved, reading your chats. But you know what? Before we leave, because I love gifts, can you like put a gif of like what your vibe is today? Like after you literally just, because you just sat here and you took up all this information and you put in the effort, you put in the energy, you put in the time, and you did that. And you did that. And I just went, oh, I'm looking at these gifts. Okay, let me see. Now I got out. Sorry. Okay, we're Beyonce. We're dancing. We're hype. No distractions. Let's go. Let's get in there. Yeah, daily dose of motivation. You're hungry. You're hungry for experiences. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You're dancing. You're dancing. You're in Target. Work, 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 work. Oh my God, don't you just love gifts? There's so much fun. So much fun. Eating clocked in. You're a little kitten and you're at the laptop. I get it. I understand. You're speaking my language. It's Friday. It's Friday, y'all. Okay, let me stop. Y'all chase your dreams, believe in yourself, believe in community, take care of one another, take care of yourselves wherever you are and wherever your journey is at right now, whether you just started a school year, you're in an internship, you're at a full-time role, wherever you are, you're looking for either of these things, you got this. You so got this. And think about the fact that you're showing up for yourself by being with Color Stack on this Fam Friday, okay? Like you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. You are. Okay, let me stop it here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go. Bye, y'all. Have a amazing month, and I will see you back here in October for our October Fam Friday. Okay? I'll see y'all. Bye.